Hello and welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. Today I'm bringing you the latest Aston Villa news and the build-up to the PSG game. We're going to talk about Ollie Watkins. He's been very vocal about his situation being on the bench, which I find fascinating. We're also going to have a look at what Morgan Rogers said about Ollie Watkins. Donyell Malen's goal-to-game ratio. Will we miss him tomorrow against PSG? Who knows? And of course, a look ahead of that game. But if you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and get involved in the comment section. Whether you're live in the chat right now or on replay, it all goes a long way. So appreciate it. And big up to everyone. We've got some early people in. Big up to Piotr. Big up to James Wood. Big up to Mum Dad. Big up to Callum Coyle. Thank you for tuning in already. We're going to get straight into this news, as I said, because there is a lot to discuss. There's a lot to discuss. Look, Ollie Watkins, I'm quite surprised how vocal he has been already on this situation. I didn't think this would be the sort of thing that a player would say. But actually, this is big news, actually, and I sort of like it. I'm not going to lie, I sort of like it. So have a look at this one. Ollie Watkins has said the following, and whether you like this or not, I think he's got a right to say it, and that's what you want to see from your striker. Some people say, "Oh, you shouldn't be saying that. He looks unhappy," but look, for me, Watkins saying this is absolutely bang on the money. Big up to Michael, who's in the house as well, and Lee Collison. Big up to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Ollie Watkins says, I think this is definitely probably the best Aston Villa squad there is in terms of depth and quality. A bit of a headache for the manager with a fully fit squad. Ross Barkley, an unbelievable player, missing out. So it shows the depth we have. Well, first and foremost, that's the bit more of the positive note from Ollie Watkins. He's actually said, look, this Villa squad win, we can all see the quality, like we can as fans. The squad depth is amazing. And he's even alluded to the fact that you've got top players like Ross Barkley, who, by the way, in my opinion, when fully fit, would genuinely play for most Premier League outfits. I think he starts for a lot of Premier League teams, Ross Barkley. I rate him highly. But listen, he has commented on the squad depth. And I thought, okay, Ollie, yeah. And why are we talking about Ollie Watkins and squad depth? Well, we know that Ollie Watkins is not finding himself like he was last season, playing week in and week out. He's actually sort of saying, look, I can see the manager's headache. He doesn't even have John Duran. He doesn't even have John Duran breathing down his neck, and he's sort of talking about the squad depth. But it's not those comments that have shocked me. It's the next part. Have a look at this, people. I can't believe he was this vocal about it, but I thought, do you know what? Fair play. Speak your mind, Ollie. If that's how you feel. And here it is. This is not clickbait, as I said on the stream. This is what he said. This is what Ollie Watkins has said. For me, I'm not happy to sit on the bench. It's disappointing every game that I'm on the bench, but it is the manager's decision at the end of the day. All you can do when you come on the pitch is to try and make an impact and go from there. Look, at the end of the day, I quite like it. I quite like that he's actually tamping, fuming, raging, and saying, "Look, do not put me on the bench. I want to be starting games." And I think actually 100% this is something that, Ollie Watkins is alluding to and sort of saying, come on, start me now, start me. So look, he should not be on the bench. He's disappointed, and as my dad has sort of said here in the chat, he said, I guess you'd be worried if he said you'd be happy to sit on the bench. Now, what's your thoughts on that, chat? That Watkins has vocally come out and said he's disappointed to be on the bench. He doesn't want to be on the bench. He wants to be starting games. And ultimately, from his perspective, he has basically said and put a bit of pressure on Unai Emery to say, hey, listen, start me. Big up to Piotr as well. He said, nip into Villa, Ornstein Bomber. Absolutely. I was probably going to drop something on that tomorrow as it has come out late, but 100% that has been dropped. So yeah, massive news there. But look, Ollie Watkins, thoughts and feelings. He started on the bench again against Southampton. He keeps consistently starting on the bench. I thought he would have started against Southampton. He comes on, he gets that goal. Has Ollie Watkins now got a right to say, hey, I've scored my goal, now get me starting? What's your thoughts and feelings on that one? And his sort of emotion when he celebrated was very clear to see. Now, have a look at this other statement as well from Ollie Watkins right here. He said, Unai Emery asked if I was ready to come on. He just said, are you ready to make a difference? I felt like I did that. Obviously, the ball from Yuri was executed perfectly. Then I've stretched out. The importance of it keeps us in the fight for the UCL. Well, first of all, I like that he's crediting Yuri Tillemans' pass because absolutely should be getting credited because it was unbelievable. But look at that from Unai Emery. Sort of touchline information. He said, "Are you ready to make a difference?" I like that. I like that. I really like that. Are you ready to make a difference? And he certainly did. He got us that opening goal. The importance of this keeps us in the fight for the UCL. And Ollie Watkins, if you didn't see his celebrations, he was very animated. He was very much pointing. He was very much cajoling. He was very much pumping. That goal meant a lot. And I think, look, to take, that message away from Ollie, I would probably say Ollie Watkins is absolutely crying out for a start. Crying out for a start now. He wants that start. He wants to be given that chance. And will he get it? We'll have to wait and see. I also found this quite interesting from an Aston Villa perspective on what Morgan Rogers said on Ollie Watkins. And I thought, do you know what? I actually agree on this situation. I think these two definitely have the best chemistry on the pitch. 100%. I'm just getting the thing now. Sorry, let me get it. Here it is. Here it is. So this is from the official Villa account here. Morgan Rogers said the following, okay, about Ollie Watkins. Morg's on his chemistry of Ollie this season. Ollie's been massive for me. Playing with him, large parts of us, two up front. We have different games and play differently, but we work so well and our connection has got better and better. So that again for me is Morgan Rogers. You feel like you get the best performance from Morgan Rogers when Ollie Watkins is in the side. He's also saying that he prefers playing as that number 10, which Asensio now plays. But look at that. Morgan's chemistry of Ollie this season, I think is massive. I think, once again, food for thought for Unai Emery. Does Unai Emery tomorrow go with Watkins and Rogers as the front two? What do you think on that? I would love to know your thoughts and feelings on that one, chat, because I think where's all this noise coming from? Watkins saying, yeah, I want to start. Rogers saying, look, I like playing Ollie Watkins. I think it carries weight, and I think the manager has to listen to that. So big up to everyone. Let's see some of the comments in there. Need to replace Ollie soon, though. He's been crap this season, in my opinion. Interesting, says Leon, and respectfully, I think Ollie has had a disappointing season to last year, but I still think this guy has a lot to add to Villa. James said, has Ollie ever been fit this season? He looks different since the international break. I would agree on that as well. He does look like he's struggling for fitness. I think it's fine. His word choices stayed respectful, not having a go, just saying he is disappointed. Exactly. Yeah, he hasn't come and slated anyone. Ollie needs to do better and take those more chances, as everyone would always say. Ollie should be our main number 9, in our opinion. In my opinion, I'm with Michael. I'm 100%. 100% Ollie Watkins needs to be given the go as number 9. I don't want to see Rashford up there tomorrow. I want to see my main striker, my man, Ollie Watkins, leading the line and doing his business as he always does. So, yeah, big up to you guys. Guys, make sure you smash in that like button for me. I really appreciate it. But yeah, people still think he'll lead Villa 100%. Big up, Lesson Jamie in the house. Big up the COD buddies. PSG fan passing by, you guys were a stronger opponent than Liverpool, and we got lucky getting that one goal from Doué. Please start Disasi tomorrow. No. Axel Disasi at right back will not be happening again. But big up the PSG fan. I'm glad you think we're stronger than Liverpool. I think that's a massive compliment in itself. But no, Axel Disasi will not be starting at right back. We've had that experiment. It's failed. If he does start at right back, then Unai Emery has officially been taken over by an alien. That isn't the real Unai Emery, because he wouldn't make the same mistake 3 times in a row. But yeah, so Piotr says, I don't think that's really true. As Ollie played less in the last 16 games and Rogers 13 goal. Yeah, I think Rogers is sort of hinting to Unai Emery that he wants to be in that 10 role tomorrow with Ollie. I think, as we've seen, Rogers loses his contributions when Asensio is in that starting lineup because Asensio takes his space and his role. So I want to know what you guys think on that one. But Yeah, it was to Morgs and Ollie start time. Love that, Michael. Rashi was great left winger, but since playing 9, he's been quiet. Agree. And yet to be decidedly, I will keep you updated on that one. Whether we do both big up on YouTube, whether we do just YouTube, I will let you know, my friend. So that's the information on Ollie Watkins. I think it's fair to say that Ollie is desperate for a start, and I am calling for Ollie Watkins to start tomorrow. Let me know in the chat. Who would you play as the number 9 tomorrow? Rashi or Watkins? Who is leading the line against PSG at home, in your opinion? Rashi or Watkins? Would love to know your thoughts. But yeah, I want to know your thoughts on this. So, Donyell Malen. Wow. I saw an amazing stat about Donyell Malen today. Don Malen, the Don of all Dons. Him not being included in the Champions League squad may be costly, especially with Leon Bailey not really fully at it in terms of performance, but also fitness. So no Donyell Malen, potentially in the Champions League squad for me, has potentially cost Aston Villa. I want to see Donyell Malen play. I want to see him play more minutes. I want to see him, get his chance, as a lot of people said. I've been banging the drum saying, do you know what? I could see Donyell Malen leave him if he doesn't get more minutes, which is true. I genuinely believe that. I genuinely believe that if Donyell Malen didn't get more minutes, that we'd start to be looking at, is this the right place for him? But, however, I will say this. His minute to goal ratio is absolutely outstanding, and it puts Leon Bailey to shame. Have a look at this stat right here. Have a look at this stat right here. There it is. Les James wants Rashford as 9. Ollie, Rashford on the wing, says Lee. Agree. Ollie 9, Rashford left wing, Morgs 10. Michael Dimmock's got a spot on. And my dad said, why can't Ollie and Rashford be the same? They can, but Rashi needs to be left wing. Ollie needs to be 9. Morgs 10, and I don't care who they put out on the right wing. 3 out of 5 signings. Who do you have left out? Yeah, that's the thing, James. That is the thing. Do you know what, though? At the time they got Disasi, maybe I'd have left Disasi out. Maybe. On hindsight now, easier to say on it looking back, but maybe I'd have left Axel Disasi out. Bit of a rogue one, I know, because we've been short at centre half, but a bit of a rogue one. Now look at this. The Donyell Malen. In just 257 minutes of Premier League football so far this season, Donyell Malen has scored 3 goals. 3 goals in 257 minutes. If you do the maths there, 257 divided by 3 is... He gets his calculator quickly to work it out. 257 divided by 3. We're looking at a goal every 85 minutes. So a goal a game ratio. The Don's on a goal a game ratio. Play the Don and he'll score. Look at Leon Bailey though. For comparison, Leon Bailey has scored 1 goal in 1,143 minutes of Premier League football this season. Wow. And that is exactly why we talk about impact. That Donyell Malen stat right there is blowing me out. I didn't realise he's basically on. I actually think he's absolutely averaging minutes. Now, I think hasn't had 3 goals in his last 88 minutes. Yeah, basically, Donyell Malen's first couple of games for Villa were flops. He didn't score. He was very quiet and didn't have much of an impact. I think he had that start against, maybe was it Cardiff City in the FA Cup? I'm trying to remember now. But yeah, but maybe it wasn't. I feel like he started 1 Premier League game and didn't do well. But yeah, Michael is right. His 3 goals have come in the last 88 minutes, which is absolutely nuts. So what a stat from Donyell Malen there. Leon Bailey has got to be worried about that. But my other thing is, guys, if we try and sell Leon Bailey and they see stats like that, how do we get rid of Leon Bailey? How do you sell Leon Bailey on? Do you hope that a 1-season wonder of last year is enough to capitalise on and get him over the line for a deal? Or are we really scraping the barrel on that one? That's my worry. Leon Bailey, if he continues to flop like he is, his sell-on value is going to be less and less. If we had sold Leon Bailey at the end of last season, in the summer just gone, my gosh, his price would have been massive. His price would have been so high. But we're maybe actually going to be selling Leon Bailey at the wrong time. Yeah, love that from Donyell Malen. Love it. Piotr says, I think Rashford stays and Emery will develop him into number 9 during pre-season because Emery rates his raw talent. That's why he plays him so much as number 9, just like he did with Ollie. I must say, Unai Emery talks a lot on Rashford. He's made more comments than his press conference about connecting with Marcus Rashford, connecting him through, through his, I think he said his personality. He said, got to connect with Rashford first as a person, then as a footballer. So continues to sort of butter up Marcus Rashford, continues to put Marcus Rashford in a good vein. Whether we, convert that is another thing of there. James said, no, just ask imagine Cash gets Eddie Card first thing, it's PSG in the first leg. Who you bring on before he's sent off? Well, my thing, James, was you put Concert right back and then you play Powell and Tyrone Mings. And as much as people say, but they're 2 left-foot centre halves, I think Tyrone Mings' physicality against PSG would have been brilliant. Concert goes at right back. But I wouldn't have personally taken Cash off. I think you've got to try and trust Matty Cash on a yellow card. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yes, that is that. So PSG, wow. Do we believe or do we not? That's the big question. I've seen a lot of Villa channels and a lot of Villa podcasters talk about it. Some people are very optimistic. Some are very yeah, it's an uphill battle. Realistic for me, if we don't score the first goal, we can wave goodbye. And if PSG sucker punch us and score us in the first 15 minutes, it's a non-event for me then. It's a non-event. It's a massive mountain to climb. Unai Emery, again, he's trying to instill the belief into the fans. He talks about the connection of the fans. He says, if the fans turn up, if the fans, connect with us, we can write history. And look, Unai Emery does want to write history. There's no doubt about it. He could be a history maker. And it's all going to be massive. He said, playing at home with the energy they can receive from the supporters is something adding positivity. Look, we talked about it at the end of the PSG game. There's a lot of belief. There's a lot of belief that these players believe they're still in the tie. The one snippet, though, that Unai Emery does say is this. Michael's going for a strong 3-0. I like it, Michael. Our objective is to try to play with one strong plan in our tactical way tomorrow and then try to be consistent. I think I know what that strong plan is. I know what this strong plan is. He's going to go for that ruthless playing bouts moment. I think we're going to see Aston Villa go absolutely gun-ho in the first 10 minutes. 10, 15 minutes. I think Unai Emery wants to replicate Nottingham Forest style, which is why I think the front line is going to need that pace and directness. I think Unai Emery is going to absolutely 100% try and get the lads to score a goal in that first 15 minutes. Big up PC lockdown in the house. Hope you're good. My dad says you have to believe, and as does Lee did. Yes, you've got to believe. And I think we score in the first 10, 15 minutes. I actually believe that Villa score in the first 10, 15 tomorrow and create a magic occasion. I watched that Nottingham Forest game. I've looked at it again, and I thought that's how we need to play. He talks about, though, the strong tactical plan. He talks about it here. Our objective is to try to play with one strong plan in our tactical way. For me, that is really clear. What he's going to do is he's going to try and get that early goal, get Villa to then try and defend that early goal, sit back a bit, and then go again. What we realised is against Nottingham Forest, we're not always necessarily the best at trying to protect our lead. And that's what worries me. We're not always the best at protecting our lead. So we'll have to see what happens with that one. I think it's good that Emery keeps changing his lineup so nobody knows what to expect. Exactly that. PC said, I like 0-0 to the last 10 minutes or so. Then we explode on them. An Arna winner at 90+3. I like it. James Wood said, it's harsh on Malen, but it sounds like a good professional. Will come back next season with fight and prove himself. I agree. I think Donyell Malen is hungry. We'll either sell him or he'll be back to business. But yeah, we will have a 12th player there this time. Yeah, the Villa Park crowd, as Unai Emery said, is the crowd that needs to connect with the players. So yeah, really interesting one that. In terms of that then, and in terms of the game plan, if we don't get that early goal, say it doesn't go to plan, say Villa go on that front foot, we don't get that early goal, how will they adapt? Because again, we looked at that Stan Collymore tweet the other night about the way in Villa play. We play at high intensity for 15 minutes. rest and recover for 15, high intensity for 15, rest and recover. And basically, what that means is we go for the kill. We go for the kill. We go for the kill. My only query, my only worry, my only problem is, can we really defend that well? Can we really defend that well against the PSG? Can we, when we have our rest period, concentrate and not concede? Because against Nottingham Forest, the only thing that saved us was Forest's poor finishing. Forest had a really poor range of finishing against us, and we got what I would say a little bit lucky. So, on hindsight, you have to look at it and go, play to your strengths and get it done. Get it done. Big up to Luke Allison. Our resident steward is in the house, and big up to him. Thank you, Lee. Always appreciate the support. Hope you're smashing up Call of Duty with the lads in the chat. Dad says, can PSG play a stronger defender and look for quick counters? Well, they've got Marquinhos back. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing, he's a little bit slower. I want to see if Marquinhos goes straight into that PSG starting lineup or whether they keep the same squad. We'll have to wait and see. Kevin, big up to Kevin, said, be interesting to see who takes our next penalty if we get one, Asensio Watkins. So, Rashford, it's been confirmed today. I think it was Unai said it. Rashford is number 1. Asensio is number 2. And then third is apparently between Yuri Tillemans, John McGinn, and Ollie Watkins, which I find fascinating. I find that fascinating, but we've got our third penalty taker. If Asensio and Rashford aren't on the pitch and we get a penalty, it's between Watkins, Yuri, and John McGinn, whoever fancies it. So Rashford has been confirmed as the number 1 penalty taker, Asensio number 2, and Watkins, Tillemans, and McGinn are the third one. So Bournemouth is still winning 1-0. Dangerous side, Bournemouth. They needed a win, though. But to beat Fulham will be good. PSG stay turned on all game. They do. Whatever happens, it's celebration tomorrow. Who here is unhappy with how our lads have performed in the Champions League this year? No one. Everyone's been excellent, haven't they? I agree on that. But yeah, Rashford on pens tomorrow. I've got no qualm about it. Will we get a penalty? Who knows? Be interesting, though, if we do get a penalty tomorrow and the way that Rashford would receive it and take it. But listen, look, at the end of the day, we have to try and find a way to get that early goal. As I said, the tie will be done and dusted if PSG score in the first 10, 15 minutes. That is probably one of my biggest fears. That's probably one of my biggest worries. Then we get hit like that. But you never know. Rich Burton, big up, says, crazy that Watkins doesn't demand to take pens. As a number 9, for me, a number 9 should always want to take a penalty. If you're a striker and you're not on penalties, there's a serious problem. Do you ever see Harry Kane to never be on a penalty? Crazy. Lewandowski, never to be on a penalty. Crazy. Big number 9s always want to be on penalties. So, yeah. PC wants an intro. They're going to play rock, paper, scissors before the penalty taking, see who takes it. I can imagine that. Rugby, where's Deji? Time for him to come flex around here for avoiding relegation. To be fair, Rugby, that is a good shout. My man Deji, though, he's always hiding. You've got to find your binoculars for this guy. You really do. Big up to Michael Huggins as well. Hope you're well. Good evening. Good evening. And people, smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Look, where am I going with the Villa side tomorrow then? I think for me, it's going to have to be brave. It's going to have to be aggressive. And I want to see Villa attack more. I want to see Villa on the front foot. I don't want to see park the bus again, play on the counter. I would rather us go to Villa Park tomorrow and fight. Fight for it. I want to see us. Maybe would I be annoyed if we went out, played really attacking football and got bopped 3-1 or 3-2? No. Would I be annoyed if we parked the bus and thought, what if? Maybe. There's a dust storm. Yes, we do need energy tomorrow, Michael. Look, my team then is Emi Martinez in goal. Cash at right back. Konsa. And I fancy Tyrone Mings tomorrow over Powell. I want Tyrone in the team. I want Big Mings in the team. Luca Dean left back. Kamara and Yuri Tillemans. I'm playing Rashford. I'm playing Rodgers. don't know who I want right wing. This is the issue. This is the issue for right wing, right? Because Donyell Malen would have got my nod. Leon Bailey's not ready. Maybe then Morgan has to go wide right because Ollie's going up front. I've got Ollie as the 9, Rashford as the left winger. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is Watkins, Rashford, Asensio, Rodgers. Maybe that is the front 4. Watkins, Rashford, Asensio, Rodgers. That's what I'm going with. John McGinn, for me, isn't in my team tomorrow. Reason for, I want as many attacking-minded players on the pitch. So my front 4 has to be the most attacking-minded. I want Kamara and Tielemans in that double pivot. If McGinn was to come in my team, it means that someone like Asensio or Rodgers needs to be on the bench. Tomorrow's not a day for one of those to be on the bench. Big game players need to play tomorrow. We need Rashford and Asensio's Champions League experience. We need the big game players to arrive. And hopefully there. But any difference here? Michael's got Ginny on the team. Big up to Black Country Villain. Thank you for tuning in as always. Rodgers has to play. Asensio has to play. Rashford has to play. Watkins has to play. I'm struggling to get McGinn in my team. But look, McGinn would be a great impact sub. I know a few people have got Onana in their starting lineup. A cause and shout for Onana because of his power, because of his height, because of his physicality. But again, does Onana really constitute a start over Youri Tielemans and Kamara? I can't see it. I cannot see it. So let me know any differences. Would you go Mings or Powell tomorrow? Or you go Matson or Dean? Think Cash and Conts will pick themselves. I think Kamara and Tielemans pick themselves. I really do. I really can't see a world where Youri Tielemans and Kamara aren't starting. Does Rashford find himself on the bench? It's headache. The only thing we're missing for me is that right wing option. I don't think Leon Bailey's going to be ready. I don't think Leon Bailey's going to be fit enough. I just don't know. James gone Kamara, Onana, Tielemans midfield. Who you got on the? Who's the other 3 then? James out of interest. Asensio off the bench, Onana instead, like Luke suggested earlier. I get that. Asensio has done well off the bench for us. And I did see Luke's team. Onana as the powerhouse, I get that. He was our best player, by the way, when he came on. I rarely say that about Onana, but against PSG, he was our best player. I find it hard in a world that we would play Asensio on the bench on such a big occasion, especially if we're looking to score goals, especially if we need a clinical goal scorer. I know we had a stinker against Southampton, but who knows? Red P said we'll score 2 goals from corners. Power for splitting passes, I like it. And Lee says concert all day. Power ahead of Mings just because he can find a pass quicker to Rashford. Yeah. Whatever happens, as PC's been saying, we're going to give it a real good go. We're going to give it a real good go. There's no doubt about it. I'm expecting the crowd to be electric. I'm expecting the crowd to be raucous and create scenes. And I expect the players to match it. If Villa come out flat in the first 15 minutes, wave the white flag. Wave the white flag. We have to come out like lions. We have to come out roaring. We have to come out fighting, and we can't be pinned in. So I can't wait. I really can't wait. As I said, it's ticking amongst us, and we're going to be, very close to that game. But we're going to wrap up in a minute, people. Of course, we'll be doing the watch-alongs tomorrow. As always, haven't worked out how I'm doing it yet. If it's just big up in YouTube or just YouTube. But of course, keep your notification bell posted, signed, sealed, delivered on here because we're going to build it up. Mings is not ideal in that match because they do not really play with a forward. It's true. Save a sense of letting the game with hopefully more space. I like it. Captain says, every now and again, then we need Mings on the pitch for me. Exactly. You've got to have a leader, right? A warrior. And someone who knows it. So Captain makes a great point there, actually, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll be doing the watch on. Please do join me on where we are. What an atmosphere. Absolutely. That's what needs to happen. And yeah, we'll be ready to bring you the energy as well. It's going to be a mad one. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be nerve-wracking. And yeah, I don't really know what's going to happen. It's either going to be a night to remember or it's going to be a night of absolute tears. What do you reckon? I'm even nervous talking about it now. I've got like a little turn on my stomach there. It's a bit like, oh my days, this is actually going to happen, isn't it? We're actually going to do or die in this biggest game right now. And it's quite scary. So let's see what happens. But yeah, big up to everyone. Hope you're well. Big up, big up, big up. And I want to say a big thank you to the Fulham. Big up to it's on prime time, I guess. Don't forget there. Good time to start. We have early in the season. Absolutely. To love that from captain as well. But yeah, big up to Vamos VJ's just joined us as well. Big up to Michael Huggins. Big up Piotr says Emery. We're here to make history as true. Big up to Michael Dimmock, Michael Huggins, VJ, captain, Lee Collison, the legend that is, James Wood, Rub P. Big up to PC Lockdown. Big up to Black Country Villain. Big up to my mum and dad as well. And big up to Starry and Heidi as well. Legend Jamie, legends as always. Enjoy your Call of Duty, you guys. Guys, notification bell. Check it again for me. Make sure it's turned on. Make sure you smash a like on your way out of here. That's our build up for tomorrow. Sleep well if you can. Be ready. Bring the energy. And let's have some up the villas. I'm out of here, people. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Appreciate it. And go over to the Villa Park podcast. I think they're live now. I can't redirect to him. I tried to. He doesn't have redirects on. So if you do go in there, just put AVFTS raid in there. But big up to everyone. I'm out of here. Ta-da.